What does it take to become a champion? It takes power, agility, endurance, focus. What does it take to become a champion? It takes all four.
So, start of TwitchCon 2016, and we get this announcement from, or reveal from, Amazon Game Studios. Now, this looks like it could be pretty good. It's called Breakaway. It's 4v4 PvP competitive action, of course, and you can see on your screen the relic. The relic has to be put into the basket or the relay on the opposite side of the map. A bit like basketball, where you can kill each other. But, you know, that's a very brief description. There's a lot more intricacies involved than just that, which you can see on your screen right now. So basically, there's 7 champions or heroes or whatever we're going to call them that have been announced at the moment in different, you know, they've got different attributes to them. You've got tanks, you've got melee fighters, you've got, you know, ranged heroes, shooters they're calling them. And you've also got supports like the buff and debuff your team and the enemy team, as well as healing. That is obviously going to help you to push your team across the map and to dunk the ball or the relic into the relay / basket. Now, you can see other stuff on the screen as well. These things are called buildables, and they will be explained later in the video by the devs themselves. I'm going to put a lot of dev footage in because it's quite late and I just wanted to get this video out right now. I'm going to do a ton of content on this game because it looks like something which I personally could get involved with. Whether or not you do is another thing, obviously, but it's something I could get hyped in terms of my style of being a commentator. Like, I can see this being something I'd be interested in, like, you know, almost a bit like Rocket League, but not with cars, and if that makes sense, but with PvP as well. You know, it's got that kind of Guild Wars 2 third person view as well, as all the, you know, the support, the roles, that kind of similar roles that come into it without the conquest in there as well. But yeah, because obviously Guild Wars 2 is where I come from originally, so I'm kind of almost, you know, comparing it to that to a degree, but important not to as well, and judge it on its own merits. But you can see the gameplay at the moment. You know, it's based off the fact that you have to win 3 rounds, not necessarily in a row, obviously, but you can either dunk the ball into the opposite team's relay to win the round, or you can wipe the enemy team to and when I say wipe, I mean, like, not, you know, kill them all once. They have to all be dead and all be on respawn to win the round as well. It's as easy as that, but there are different things that can happen, such as these buildables you can see on the screen right now, like walls, ramps. There's offensive, there's defensive, there's utility buildables as well, where you spend gold which you gain through the game by killing players, various other things as well. Again, you know, the information is very sketchy at the moment. They did mention all this stuff in the game, and I don't want to give you any, you know, false information, so I want to try and, you know, keep it quite short and sweet, so give you the game footage, which is what you want to see and which is what is on your screen at the moment. Again, I might be rambling, it's 4 AM, but yeah, this has got me a little bit excited, and I'm interested to see what comes in the future. The fact that they could give us this game footage, like actually have like a PvP game right at the start of the actual TwitchCon itself, you know, and really hype this up, was quite good. The beginning of the stream was quite slow. It had, you know, it was building up a lot of story. They had like backstory towards the players. It wasn't really necessarily needed. They should have just banged straight into the exhibition game, and, you know, talked about other stuff. But, you know, it's the launch of their product. I understand the hype they want to try and build, and give the story of why they want to do this the way they want to do this. So again, they want to integrate this into Twitch, and there are various ways they're going to do that. So I'm going to let them describe exactly what I mean.
First and foremost, we realize it's way more fun to play when you know that people are watching. So we built Broadcaster Spotlight. Now anybody, whether they've ever watched a second of video on Twitch, can be matched into a game with a broadcaster. And you might go from this sort of pickup game of Breakaway with 7 of your closest friends and realize suddenly, oh my God, I'm being watched now by 2,000 people. And you can follow that broadcaster from inside the game. So playing Breakaway is a great way to build out your community. It's also a great way for viewers to find more broadcasters to follow. Next, we thought about engagement, and so we worked with our Seattle teams to build a new program called Stream Plus. Stream Plus is a loyalty points system where players can earn points by watching streams, and then they can use those points in polls and wagering. So you can even, if you're really good at wagering on match outcomes and which player is going to be the first to score, you can actually earn enough points to earn items that are usable inside of Relay. We're also going to be using Stream Plus to do polls and engage with our community in our broadcast from the OC Game Studio. So looking forward to using it as a method to get feedback from people. We also want to help building better content, so we work with our Lumberyard team to create METASTREAM. METASTREAM is a data pipeline that comes straight out of Relay and straight into OBS. So it allows you to create unique overlays that have statistics and allow you to deeply analyze match, player builds, and different team competitions. This is a great way for broadcasters to look at data and help coach and curate their communities. Now, speaking of communities, we're really excited about the last thing we built, which is called Broadcaster Match Builder. Broadcaster Match Builder is a way for broadcasters to interact directly with the matchmaker, which we built with Amazon Game Services. So you can create matches that are exclusively with your communities. You can have just your followers or just your subscribers, or you can mix it up. So long term, we think this can lead to broadcasters who are coaching teams, broadcaster brawls, even like leagues and tournaments. So we're really excited to see where this feature goes.
So there you go, a little bit of information of what they want to do in terms of integrating it into Twitch and how viewers are going to be able to, you know, potentially, I'm not going to say bet, because betting isn't really, you know, allowed, I suppose, or whatever we're going to say, but in terms of, you know, being able to look at the outcome, you know, maybe they can, I don't know, bet some kind of currency. I'm not sure, I don't want to speculate too much about that, but they insinuate that they're going to be able to, people are going to be able to get in-game items, you know, maybe skins and whatnot, you know, currency to spend, because obviously there's going to be ways to monetize the game as well, depending on whether or not it's free to play, because obviously, you know, games like this are important to be that. So the assumption is it would be free to play, but there'd be stuff that you could purchase, like skins and whatnot, you know, like other games out there as well. I don't even need to mention one, because you know what I mean. And if you don't, then I don't know how you got here. But anyway, so, you know, integration in that way, all the different things they said, you know, being able to invite broadcasters, you know, viewers to the stream, people who are watching the stream, something actually Paragon has started to do, you know, when you can watch a stream and you can gain something in game, you know, when you're doing that. So participating on Twitch gives you something in the actual game of Breakaway, so that's pretty cool. I hope I'm giving this enough justice at 4 AM in the morning, but obviously you don't want to hear me whining about that. So yeah, you can see on the screen again, you know, the game's kind of just continuing on, instant replays, the different features, straight back into the next round as well. And after each round, you can spend your gold. I guess a bit, you could compare it to, you know, like CSGO or something like that, you know, when you spend your gold, you upgrade, you know, get a better gun, you know, whatever game you want to think about or talk about, you're able to upgrade your skills and actually, you know, get further in the game. You know, they've got these buildables, they can build better things towards the end of the rounds. I'm not sure if those buildables get downgraded or destroyed. They can be destroyed by other players, but you can see the kinds of things which are being built. You know, there's turrets, there's like, I think there's a healing shrine, there's like a wall, a ramp, like an offensive ramp, so you can just get into the fight a lot quicker, especially off the respawn. Loads of different things which, you know, in the future I will definitely delve into, but it's this is a very basic video. I just wanted to give you raw game footage as well, so you can see exactly what the crack is, and those kind of plays, like on the side, you know, being able to just run down the side, you know, pass the ball into the middle, and the relic, sorry, and then, you know, able to, you know, possibly pick up some nice clutch plays. And this is the point. They're trying to combine different features of different games, like give you like hype moments where you can, you know, see someone who's gonna score a goal or score a basket or whatever we're gonna call this in the future. So it looks like a fun game. I'm gonna just roll over to the devs, and they're gonna be able to talk to you about some of the actual champions or heroes or characters that you can play in Breakaway.
Now, Spartacus has a lion on his armor, and there's a reason for that, because the way he plays is like a lion. He cuts in, he culls the weak from the herd, and eliminates team members surgically. Then there's others that you might not have heard of. There's Alona, the priestess. She's like a healer who can use the power of the sun to sustain all of her allies in a fight. Then there's THORGRIM, the Viking war chief. He's like our spoiler, our play breaker. He can stop enemy momentum in its tracks. Then there's Anne Bonny. She's like the pirate sharpshooter. She's like the backline damage dealer. If she's got you in her sights, you need to try to move the fight to her or she's going to take you down. The opposite of that is the Black Knight, who's like literally like a walking black hole of death who can pull enemies in and deal massive damage. So best to avoid him on the battlefield. There's Rollins, Western Martial sharpshooter, twin six-shooter, super agile, more close range damage, but he can get in, deal his damage, and get out really quickly. Very agile character. And finally, there's Morgan Le Fay, the exotic sorceress. She makes her team stronger by making her enemies weaker, and she can control whole areas of the map.
So a nice mix-up of heroes or champions, again, like whatever we want to call them at the moment. Only 7, of course, you know, it's alpha. If you're at TwitchCon, you're watching this, or you've been able to watch this, then make sure you can get an alpha code. And over the whole weekend, this is being streamed as well. They're giving out alpha codes as well. So if you want to get involved in this, then obviously get yourself into the stream. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of all the characters that they've got so far. There's the differences there are quite important. You need that support, you know, the ranged and the melee and the kind of tank as well to carry that ball through towards the end. But it doesn't look like that's just the way it is done. The thing is as well is when you've got the relic in your hands, you cannot actually use any abilities. All you've got is this invulnerable kind of dash that you can use. So you can get to a certain point of the game, obviously, or towards the end, and just, you know, dash. You have this invulnerability, so you can just, you know, not get hit, and you can run the ball in, or you can use it different times. Again, you know, not sure exactly how that works or what the cooldown is of that, or if you need something specific to actually, you know, use it, but we'll find out in the future. You can see as well, like I showed you before, or you saw earlier on, the 2 kind of buffs on the sides. You've got this red crystal which you can kill to get 25% damage increase, and then the green, obviously, you know, is more of a health increase. At the moment you can see the blue team has got both of those buffs, so the red team are kind of always sitting back, and you notice in this game that the red team are always kind of sitting back, not doing too amazingly well, to be honest. And I think the older guys are, you know, the more experienced guys are actually kicking their asses, so that's actually quite interesting as well. There was a mixture of fighting, you know, young and old fighting players that were playing on both teams, so it was quite a fun thing to watch as well, and just see the older guys kind of kicking their asses. But anyway, I'm not going to talk too much more about this because I need to go to bed, but I just wanted to get this out to you guys. Let's go back over to the devs so they can talk about buildables in Breakaway.
They're key to success. So each character in the game gets 2 buildables, and they can build each of them once per round. Every character has their own set of buildables, so they're unique. So your team composition affects the buildables that you can build. And they persist from one round to the next, so you can literally have a whole fortress built up by the end of the match. It's a huge component of strategy. There's defensive buildables like walls and healing shrines. There's offensive buildables like cannons and traps. And there's things like accelerators like ramps and launchers that help you move through the map really, really quickly. So many ways to mess with your opponents and build strategies with your team.
I'm pretty much going to end it there, guys, but basically it's a 4v4 PvP game where you have a relic which you have to dump in the opposite team's relay, which I said before, or basket. You can use buildables to stop your opponents, or also to actually advance yourself through the map to score a goal, or basket, whatever we're calling it. I don't know what we're going to call it. They call it basket already, the commentators have called it that, so that sounds quite fun to me. So yeah, 3 rounds, you've got to win 3 rounds, 4v4, different types of characters or heroes, and it looks fun so far. Integration with Twitch can't be a bad thing. It looks like a new way to go for you know, competitive games as well, especially if they want to be in that competitive arena and they want to be esports. I'm going to do that with my fingers, but guys, I'm going to leave you to it. We're just going to let him describe quickly about the actual locations or maps that are potentially in the game or will be in the game, and then I'm just going to leave you to wonder about what this game is about, to decide whether or not, you know, you think it's something you might be interested in. If you haven't, I'm going to pop in the link in the description below for the actual stream you can check out, where you can go and look at it yourselves. There's going to be loads of people playing it, talking about it over TwitchCon, and I'm sure there's going to be tons of information about this in the future, because it seems like they want to get people in on ground level to influence this game and to make it something which is going to be pretty awesome. I'm excited for it. Whatever happens in the future, you know, always look on the bright side, especially at the beginning of, you know, a brand new game and the potential it could bring. I've been Jebro. Take it easy. Back to the devs to just quickly talk about the maps that are in the game.
As you probably heard of, places like El Dorado, the City of Gold, Atlantis, the Sunken Continent, Styx, the River of the Dead. The greatest warriors of myth and legend have always quested for these places, or they've come from these places.
What does it take to become a champion? It takes power, agility, endurance, focus. What does it take to become a champion? It takes all four.